Hi, I'm Justin Diamond, and today I'm going to read the first chapter of the second act of my upcoming novel, Giant Special Tokyo Love and Game. This is actually chapter 16, so here we go. It was Monday, the first day of work at my new job. Fatherhood had taken me for a ride, which had me quit my night job in Tokyo in favor of a day job at a local junior high school. For the first time in my life, I could ride a bicycle to work. But first, I had to take out the garbage. Monday was Plastic Day. I'd never realized how much plastic we used before taking out the garbage in Japan. Every PET bottle, are every PET bottle, as they called their plastic bottles here, various food containers that my first instinct would be to throw away were already washed by Sora and placed in a plastic bag to be recycled. There were 3 bags full of our plastic recyclables that I stowed in the cage on the side of our mansion. Sora's old bicycle was a curiosity. Unlike any bicycle I'd ever rode in the US, it had a light built into the front that was powered when you pedaled. It seemed like a no-brainer addition to any bicycle. Why, then, did no bicycles in America come with a headlight as a standard addition? Even when you did buy a headlight in America, it would certainly be battery-powered. But the most interesting thing about the bike was the lock. It, too, was built-in standard. It used a small key and was located on the rear tire. When engaged, the lock ran through the spokes of the wheel, preventing the wheel from turning. But the lock did nothing to keep the bicycle in place. In America, you had to chain your bike to something. You had to make sure that chain was around the frame of the bike. In Japan, a flimsy wheel lock was enough. Even though anybody could simply pick up the whole bike and throw it into the back of a truck. As I was positioning the bike to ride, a group of high school boys came riding by, laughing loudly. One rang his bell and swerved to avoid hitting me. I could tell they were high school because they all wore identical black suit uniforms. What made theirs unique was the Nehru-style collar. My new junior high school was located on the other side of the train station. My morning bike ride began with the same path that I used to walk to work. Only this time, there was a rush, a thrill, of covering the same ground in record time. The rush of the wind was colder than I had anticipated, and I immediately wished I had worn something warmer over my ears. I passed the various other houses with their garbage cages, all of them with their plastic garbage waiting outside. Down one of the side streets were the garbage men themselves. Down the main street, where I passed the major salon in town, a fetish taco. I passed just in time to see a customer walk out the front doors, her hair looking fabulous. She was escorted by 3 salon employees who stopped just outside the door. They gave their customer a cheerful goodbye as they waved their hands in a very cute Japanese way. They didn't stop waving until she rounded the corner out of sight. Strange, since the woman who was walking away from them couldn't even see the waves. At the train station, I took a sharp left turn. There was a dome-shaped mirror at the intersection that let you see around the corners. I noticed at the last second that a small, distorted white shape was actually a car coming from the other direction. I hit the brakes at the last second, and they gave a very loud squeak as I stopped, just in time to let the car pass. The man driving gave me a glaring look from above an assortment of dashboard decorations. After I got my momentum back, I rode parallel to the train tracks until I heard the Doppler effect and a ching chime sounded at the crossing. As I rode closer, I could see that the turnpikes were lowered, and there were a few cars and bicycles waiting to cross. I rode in between a couple of cars to wait at the extreme left side of the road with the other bicyclers. I wanted to wait closer to the turnpikes, but wound up getting in line behind a few schoolgirls in short plaid skirts. They turned around and looked me in the eyes before turning back forward to their conversation. A moment later, the train came rushing by, slowing down for the stop at the nearby station, but still a zoom of cold wind for us. After the train passed, I noticed all of the bikers ready themselves for the turnpike to raise, to cross the tracks, but they all relaxed again when the ching chime of the crossing alarm didn't stop, and yet another train came zooming by from the opposite direction. The alarm didn't stop until after a third train had passed us. The turnpikes rose, and I couldn't help but look at the bottoms of the schoolgirls ahead of me as they pushed off on their bicycles. The schoolgirls rode slowly. I wasn't sure if it was their usual speed or if they were riding slow on purpose for me to pass them. But riding on this unfamiliar side of a very narrow foreign road with cars passing at arm's length, I had no intention of passing them. I glanced behind me and saw that more schoolgirls and a few boys had joined the gaggle of traffic I was now in the middle of. Bicycle traffic. There were traffic guards directing students at the next few lights. It looked like if the student lived close enough, and many of them did, they would simply walk to school. The bicycle traffic I was riding in mostly turned left at the high school, before my junior high school. What students remained all wore green. Suits for the guys and skirts for the gals. It made them instantly recognizable as students of Kuki Junior High School. Kuki-chu, as it sounded in Japanese. At the gate of the school were half a dozen teachers standing guard, greeting students, hurrying them along. They all regarded me as I'd expect them to greet a stranger. I stopped and dismounted. "Ohayo gozaimasu," I said. "Good morning." "Watashi wa Diamundo Sensei desu," which means, "I'm Mr. Diamond." I looked into the eye of a familiar teacher standing closest to me. She immediately avoided eye contact. Instead, looking at my hair, which was probably a mess, she repeated my name with a thick accent. "Diamundo Sensei?" The way she said my name, as if there was a special kind of dough from the moon. Moon dough. I could almost imagine her kneading an off-white, ethereal, and sparkling kind of dough. As a teacher at Kuki-chu, Diamundo Sensei was my new name. Thank you.